Okay, this is going to be part two of a new phase of mission. My energy was really high, and when I watched my video back, I was even a little bit overwhelmed. So I got myself calmed down and got my thoughts together, and now I'm ready to present part two. So, this is going to start out to be a little bit quirky, but if you just kind of hang with me for a little bit, you'll see where I'm going with this little story. So, when I was young, um, I realized that my personality was multifaceted. And I thought that was a bit interesting because of my name being Crystal. Because of how I got my name. It was like my mom named me after a crystal clear morning, after a rainy night that I was born in. And I just thought that even my name was kind of mystical. So when I got older, I realized that not only is my personality multifaceted, but so is my journey. And what I mean by that is my spiritual journey and all of the different facets of spirituality that I've explored or delved into or researched my whole life. Now, I'm talking every facet of spirituality and metaphysics that I can think of. Started out, I was fascinated with the concept of ghosts and anything paranormal. Then, when I got a little bit older, I began to discover my intuitive and psychic abilities, which I didn't like to call myself psychic for a really long time, but I'm starting to embrace that part of myself now. Especially recently, since my gifts have gotten more acute and more numerous. So, when I started on my spiritual journey about 2001, like in a very conscious way, I became interested in everything: psychic phenomena, UFOs, ETs, psychometry, which is the psychic ability to be able to intuit something about a person by touching an object that they owned, or something, or to find out the history of an object by touching it. There's just so many different facets of it that I've been interested in. So, all through my life, I've spent phases in every different facet of this, and I would learn everything that I felt like I could learn about one thing, and then I would move on to something else. And I never realized how useful all this information would be. I knew that I had insatiable curiosity about it, and I knew that I was meant to be interested because of how compelled I was to learn about it, but I didn't realize that one day in my life it would all culminate to something very useful, and if I could even go so far as to say even practical. Um so going back to part 1, when I was discussing the space travel, now that this is happening and so many are excited about this facet of it, it kind of gives me something to play off of with everything that I've experienced in my journey over the years. So, most people in 3D reality are going to see the space travel as something that the government and commercialism has worked itself up to over the past few decades and maybe even centuries. But from a mystic's point of view, I see it backwards. I see it reversed. I see it as there has always been this new way of being, and that those who are born into 3D consciousness, 3D reality, have had to work themselves up to, rather than creating it for themselves. It's always been there, and it's kind of brought itself to us as we've grown and matured spiritually. Now, a lot of people aren't going to see it that way. They're going to see it like this is something brand new. So, when I talk about my visions and my intuition and everything, this is what I'm referring to. It's what I've always known, and now that we've reached this pivotal point in today's world, I feel like it's kind of a chapter closed on my journey, because it's like finally everything that I've sensed and intuited would come about at some point has culminated. And now what have I got left to do? Because I've been here to see all of my intuition and all of my visions pretty much unfold. So over these past few days that I've known about this new mission, I felt kind of depleted and like at a dead end. But last night or this morning, I was kind of meditating on this and going within and, soul searching. And I was shown that, oh no, this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. Now, what we have to do is be here and be present for this next phase of being, and help everyone acclimate to this new knowledge that we are coming into by way of space travel. With this intuitive message came a whole gamut of new information that blew my mind. It's what we're gonna find when we start doing this exploration, and how it's going to affect the energy of the world, the earth, and its people. So, in my humble opinion, this is where the rubber truly meets the road. This is the threshold between three-dimensional reality and fifth-dimensional reality. Now, there's a lot of people out there that already know this, and I'm not parroting them. I'm not mimicking them. I'm intuiting everything for myself, but there's more and more people who resonate with this. And I'm here in this space and this time to speak to my circle, whether that be my personal friends or people that I'm connected with in the spiritual community or the twin flame community. And because I go by my intuition and I go with my inner guidance, And what I'm shown by spirit, I kind of am a main I kind of am a mainstay. Um my YouTube channel is growing ever so slowly, but it's growing. And it's because I'm real, I'm sincere, I'm just an everyday person who just happens to have insight or privy into this inner world that we all are existing in. We're just not always aware of it because we're so focused on the outer reality. But with everything that's transpired again over the decades and centuries, we're all kind of being forced within. And so, what we, as the way showers, and more specifically, some of us as twin flames, we've kind of forged a new path for the others to follow. Now, everyone has to follow their own guidance, of course, and their own journey is unique to everyone else's, but we also are a collective and we're kind of doing this together, even if we're not always aware of it. So, speaking of twin flames, that's been a tremendous part of my journey. And the person who I believed was my twin flame turned out to be someone who was meant to be a catalyst to start me on this journey and to get me to a point where I was confident enough within myself to follow it along on my own. And everything I've discovered since then has been an amazing journey, an amazing surprise, and there have been so many miracles along the way. And basically, what that path has afforded me is the knowing that we don't have to do it alone. We have to be willing to. We have to be strong enough to if we have to. But there's always going to be someone there who can share the load and support us and encourage us along the way. That's what we're all doing for each other. And the more we grow into this new way of being, the more we're all going to discover this as well. So, the reason that my twin flame journey has been so significant in my personal life and in the way that I'm there for others is that when I think back over my childhood and I remember experiences and memories and visions that I had, they all seem to be kind of chopped up and just little like nuggets in and of themselves. But recently I've had an experience that has shown me that everything in my whole entire life is actually tied together and that it's one continual story. And that story is meant to have culminated and come to a pivotal point at this time in my life. And this is why I entitled this video series A New Phase of My Mission, because it truly is a new phase of my mission. One aspect of it has come to a close, which is to get people on the journey, get them paying attention, get them aware of everything, and get them in place so that when we reach this point where we're at now, we could all do what we have to do in order to move on further. And that is what's coming up now. And the reason that I was so excited when I started doing part one is because I had just moments before that had this epiphany that I said not too long ago. I'm excited to see what my new purpose is. And so I guess it was maybe the end of a long contract that I had with Spirit, and that this is the beginning of a new contract. And I have new visions, new responsibilities, new ideas, new insights, and I'm just so very excited to implement all of that into the rest of the time that I'm here physically. And whether that be, 30, 40 more years, or 10, or 5, or 1, one never knows really. And I'm just so very excited and just over the top with joy and gratitude and a sense of purpose and a sense of direction. And I just want everyone to participate in their life and to find their inner joy, their inner purpose, and everything that they're longing for, so that when we begin to realize that 5D and 3D are coming together as one glorious existence, that we can all be there together in harmony, and not leave anyone behind in the desolate 3D reality that so many are experiencing right now. So I'm sure there's tons more that I could say, but this video has gone on a little bit now, and I'm just going to come to a close here. There may be a part 3. I'm not quite sure. When I meditate a little bit more this evening and process all of this new stuff that I'm still trying to process, then perhaps more will be shown. And if so, then a part 3 will come shortly after this. So thank you once again for following along. I wish you the very best along your journey, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.